Hi, in this video we're going to talking about some extra features of placement node, and they will be very useful and convenient for your placement layout. So let's get started. Let's first open our example file, the sample 004 in the multi-agent typeset. Okay. And inside of this thing, you can see that there is the one place node and the 3 different types of agent. You can check that in our outliner or the agent manager here. This one we previously created. The first feature we are going to introduce is how to duplicate this place node. This place node cannot be duplicated by the regular method. If we could click the Control D, it cannot be duplicated because there are a lot of the internal data in the memory inside of this place. We needed to use our own tool and duplicate that in the MyArmy. The place and duplicate the place node. You can see that another new one, exactly the same. The place node has been created for you, and including all the data in the channel boxes. The next thing we're going to talking about is the global anti-overlap tool. This is an automatic tool. If the placement in the same hierarchy space, and if the move overlap, it will automatically the anti-overlap in global space, just like this. This is automatic, and you can disable it by separated these two places into the 2 different space. For example, we select the second place and click Control G. You can see that we created the middle node, and all of the data is frozen here, and separated these two the placement into two spaces. So when you move around them, the anti-overlap tool has been disabled. Okay, and the next thing we're going to talk about is the how to disable placement. If you place your agents by this tool, you can see that all of this place node has been placed, and at some times you want to disable some of the placement node. You can simply select it and enable the disable here. You can see that all the placer in the placement node has been blacked out, and when you hit the place again, only the place nodes which enable the color has been placed. And the next thing we're going to talk about is selection placement. Let's first enable that again. 0. For example, you have the 3 different place nodes here. Let's duplicate that again. Okay. And we only want to place the agents from the selection, but we don't want to disable these 2. We can only simply select that and click this place. You can see that there's a prompt question here, and when we select the place selection, the order of agent have been placed only from the selected place node. Okay, it's pretty simple. And then we're going to introduce another very useful tool, that is the edit the individual placer into exactly the place node. For example, we want to edit the sum of agent, the single placer into this MCD place 1. So we needed to first select it and show the DG here 1. You can see that there are a lot of DG inside of each one of the placer inside of this place node, and we needed to select this, keep that selecting, and in the placement editor here, and at here you can see that there's an individual placer editor. We needed to specify the digit we wanted to editing. For example, the 22. Okay, and we can move that like this, and also we can rotate it. Okay, These the free data is the usually we use, and these free data, the ty, rx, and rz is not the usually used. So we put that here, and if we don't want to use this, we can click clear the current record. So this will resume back. So it's pretty useful when you want to move some individual here, for example 20, and you want to click and move that and rotate some of them. And when we placed our agents, you can see that this agent is placed as the new position and new transform data. Okay, pretty simple. And here is the clear all record. Here we select this and change it to 21, and then move that around and rotate it to this way. And we can click all record, and you can see that these both of two has been resumed back. And the next thing we're going to introduce is the percentage placement. If you have, just imagine you have a very large number of agents inside this placer. For example, several tens thousands. But if you just want to test and debug your scene, you don't want to place all of the agents inside of this. You just need to fill the percentage here, for example 50. And when you place this placement node, some of the agents will be ignored, and only half of them can be placed out. This is very useful when you want to debug a group of the agents and only inside of this placement. So if you just make this number small, I'll place that again. The small agent has been placed. Let's just resume them back to 100, or just to keep that 20. The next very important thing is the mark dead. The mark dead means if you want some of the agent not being placed. For example, you don't want to place these agent inside of this placer. You can just mark them dead here in my army, the placement. The mark dead selected agents. Okay, confirm. And when you place this thing again, you can see that these agents cannot be placed anymore. So this can hide some of the agents not very good. So this is the mark dead. And if you want to resume back, you can click mark dead for selected place. Select this place and click clear, and place that again. You can see that these agents has been place that again, resumed. And then the next useful tool we're going to introduce is the delete zone. Just imagine that inside of your scene there's based on the terrain, there's the area which we cannot place the agents inside that area. But it's relatively difficult to edit the setup directly inside of the place node. So what I'm going to do is pretty much create a zone, usually a plan, and put that place, and the agents inside of that the place will be automatically deleted after the placement. So let's do that. Let's first create the plan, for example here, and then let's sculpt it a little bit. Hit F8 and make sure you can edit that with the soft selection tool. Next here. Just imagine that the agents inside the areas cannot be placed, but it's very difficult to directly edit that in the place node. Here, and oh, that's cool. And when we placed our agents, of course you can use some other way to hide, for example mark dead to hide these agents, but there's a simpler method. We can select this zone and click the placement and the marked mesh as the delete zone. Okay, and at this time when we placed our agents, you can see that this is a display problem. We can switch to the viewport 2.0, and you can see that the agents inside of these areas cannot be placed. This is very useful. If the terrain has some of areas that cannot be placed any of the agents into that. The final things we're going to talking about is how to display the geometry of this placer, so that you can see the position of that. So let's do that. This is pretty simple. If you want to display the geometry of the placer, you just need to create the very simple proxy here. For example, a sphere. We can use the sphere to replace the dragon, and just middle click and drag to the placer shape. You can see that all of the placer has been changed to the geometry sphere. And also here in the display, we just unhide this. We want to show the agent here, the man, and the geometry. Just Control D for duplicate them, and put them middle click and drag to the placer shape. This can be the preview, the placement of the placement node. And also let's continue create the last one. For example, a cone. Let's put that into the snake placer shape and hit P. So with this tool, we can real-time display and preview the placement result of that. And we can also, of course, continue that when we select that, and change the noise, and change the angle, and also orientation, and the random. Everything works. Okay, this is an introduction for some of the extra useful tools for the placement node. Thank you for watching. See you next time.